A dog bit me, and I won't just bite it back. I'll bite it twice. On the bus. I was just taking a nap when a 70-year-old aunt gave me 2 hard slaps. Pretending to be asleep. Huh? Didn't you see there's an old person here? Get up and give me your seat right now. I was completely stunned. There are actually people who force others to give up their seats like this. Of course, respecting the old and caring for the young is a traditional virtue of the Chinese nation. But then again, this aunt in front of me, who looks like she just came back from square dancing. Why should she force me to give up my seat? And she even thinks it's a matter of course. What's more, she hit me. I'm a healthy person, but if it were someone with a heart condition. Thinking of this, my temper flared up immediately. Just because you asked me to give up my seat. I have to? Who do you think you are? My ancestor? If your own children aren't filial, don't come out and harm others. Just because you're old doesn't mean you're so great. The aunt's face turned livid with anger, and she immediately raised her voice, pushing and shoving me while scolding. Who are you saying has unfilial children? I'll tell you. My son makes $1 million a year. He's 1,000 times better than you. Oh, makes $1 million a year. And you're still taking the bus? Sure enough. The richer you are, the less filial you are. The aunt was instantly enraged. Everyone. When she saw me, an old person with bad legs, she not only pretended to be asleep and pretended not to see me, but also cursed me. Come and take a look. I told her. Today. Everyone was very disgusted with this kind of behavior of the old woman. However, there are always some people who stand on the moral high ground and act like a saint. A middle-aged woman said, "Little girl, you'll be old one day too. Respecting the old is a virtue. Besides, you're so young. Standing for a while won't kill you." The conductor, who didn't want to cause any more trouble, also said, "Little girl, this big sister is right. Why don't you do a good deed and let this old lady have the seat?" The conductor said this mainly to avoid unnecessary disputes. After all, while this kind of old person has a bad temper, if she goes crazy, the conductor will have to waste a lot of energy to mediate. Seeing that someone was speaking for her, the aunt immediately became complacent. Did you hear that? The conductor asked you to give up your seat. Why don't you get up? I was speechless. Giving up my seat is a favor. Not giving it up is my right. Why do I feel like I've committed a heinous crime just because I don't give up my seat? Everyone paid for the ticket to take the bus. Young people also have the right to sit. I've been tired all day. Why can't I rest on the bus for a while? Look at this aunt. I doubt her physical fitness is better than mine. She can probably do hundreds of big circles on the horizontal bar in the park. Why should I give up my seat for her? Anyway, as long as I don't have morals. Morals can't kidnap me. Seeing that I still refuse to give up my seat, using all kinds of vulgar words and even mentioning my family elders, it was extremely unpleasant, as if I had committed the most heinous crime in the world and become an unforgivable villain. The cold mechanical voice of the system rang out. Random task triggered. Refuse moral kidnapping. The system gives the prop artificial limb experience card signal 1 and cancer diagnosis case model 1. Needless to say, I know what the cancer diagnosis case is. And the artificial limb experience card can replace my legs with artificial limbs within a certain period of time. And they will automatically recover after the effect disappears. I moved my mind, and my legs were immediately replaced with artificial limbs. After doing all this, showing a characteristic wry, mouth dragon king smile, trying to morally kidnap me. Huh? You think you're in the right? Fine. Now I'm both disabled and have cancer. Who dares to say they're weaker than me? While the aunt was still cursing non-stop, and the middle-aged woman and the conductor were still trying to morally kidnap me, I suddenly changed my tone. Okay. I'll give up my seat. Is that okay? The aunt, seeing this. That's more like it. You young people. Standing for a while won't hurt you. The middle-aged woman also said. That's right. Respecting the old is respecting our future selves. As long as someone gives in, she doesn't need to waste any more time and energy to solve this problem. Another young person who was morally kidnapped. Alas, how they wished I could hold on till the end and not give up my seat. I slowly stood up. I could feel that my 2 legs under my long pants were empty, connected to the cold artificial limbs. I'll almost be home. Move aside. The aunt impatiently pushed my shoulder, trying to get past me and sit down. When the aunt pushed me, I was overjoyed. Great. I immediately let out a scream and fell straight to the floor. The aunt was startled. Anyway, I'm sitting in the seat today. At this time, the wild bus driver in Jianbei habitually slammed on the brakes. Only a clang was heard, and the 2 artificial limbs tied to my legs rolled down the steps. At this moment, it seemed that the whole world became quiet. Everyone shut their mouths and stared at the scene in front of them in amazement. Lying on the ground like an Oscar-winning actor, I crawled forward with great effort on my arms, towards my artificial limbs. Along the way, whenever I touched anyone's leg, I would apologize in an extremely apologetic tone. I'm sorry for touching you. Could you please lift your foot and let me pass to get my artificial limbs? When they learned that I was a disabled person and had both legs amputated and was highly disabled, everyone immediately became extremely angry. The anger rushed straight to their foreheads, especially when they saw the aunt sitting firmly in the seat, looking stunned. Everyone's eyes were filled with murderous intent. The first to stand up was a big brother. He quickly picked up my artificial limbs for me and helped me install them. Are you okay? I'm okay. It's my fault. Please don't blame this aunt. She didn't push me. This sentence immediately reminded everyone. In an instant. What kind of person are you? Snatching a seat from a disabled person? Do you have a conscience? This person's legs are like this. I think you deserve a beating. She gave you the seat. And you pushed her. Is this how you behave? Who doesn't have difficulties outside? You. Snatch the seat of a disabled child with both legs amputated. Seeing that she had angered everyone and realizing that I was a disabled person, the aunt immediately wilted. She didn't say she was disabled. The aunt muttered softly. Which disabled person would be willing to say they're disabled? She didn't want to give up her seat because she didn't want others to know she was disabled. And you just ripped open her wound. I spit on you. You're disgusting. It's that bad people have become old. This is really vividly reflected in you. Move aside and give her the seat immediately. As they were talking, someone got so angry that they went up and pulled the aunt aside and asked me to go back and sit. I quickly shook my head. No. I think this big sister and the conductor are right. Everyone will be old. Respecting the old is respecting our future selves. It's my ideological awareness that's not high enough. I'm ashamed. I cleverly shifted everyone's anger to the middle, aged woman and the conductor who had just morally kidnapped me. At this moment, the two of them couldn't help but tremble. They saw that everyone on the bus was looking at them angrily. How do you be a conductor? Do you think whoever is easy to bully should suffer? Asking a disabled person to give up their seat. You're really something. I'm going to complain to the bus company, seeing that she had angered everyone. I'm sorry. It's my fault. You didn't know I was disabled. Don't blame yourself. I comforted her harmlessly. No. Whether you're disabled or not, forcing someone to give up their seat is really my fault. I'm wrong. I won't do this again in the future, the conductor said. However, lowered her head and pretended not to hear others talking. She didn't think she was wrong at all. Up to now. So what if you're disabled? You're not dying. What's wrong with a young person giving up their seat to an old person? Seeing that the middle, aged woman had no reaction. Click. The cancer diagnosis case that was almost slipping out of my pocket immediately fell to the ground. Little girl, don't move. The kind big brother who had helped me before quickly stepped forward to pick it up. But as soon as he picked up the diagnosis case, the big brother froze. He walked up to the middle, aged woman and roared with all his might. Don't morally kidnap others if you don't know the situation in the future. Otherwise, I'll scold you every time I see you. She's not dying. She just has a little disability in her legs. And I don't know how I morally kidnapped her. Open your dog eyes and look. The big brother picked up my diagnosis case and roared at the middle, aged woman. This little girl is in the late stage of cancer and doesn't have many days left to live. As soon as these words came out, the whole bus was in an uproar. And everyone cast pitiful glances at me. The middle, aged woman was also stunned. She didn't dare to say a word anymore and quickly walked over to apologize to me. I'm sorry. It was my fault just now. I won't say anything if I don't know the situation in the future. That's more like it. You're so quick when you rush to grab free eggs in the supermarket. You can listen to health lectures for a whole day without getting tired. But you feel tired on the way home and your legs don't work? You old hag who takes advantage of your age. On the bus, everyone also started to scold the aunt. Only I protected the aunt. Everyone. Don't say that. The old lady didn't mean it. She must be really tired to ask me to give up my seat. It's okay. I can stand. Come, auntie. The aunt was completely collapsed. She almost wanted to kneel down to me. You're both disabled and in the late stage of cancer. You have all the buffs. How can I compete with you?